What's going on, YouTube? Back for part 2 of the part 1 video I did before about, if you need industry where you want to, make some money. Excuse me, I'm a little bit under the weather right now, if you could tell, but I didn't want to hold off any longer bringing the second part of the video to you all because of some other stuff I want to get to as well. So in the first part of the video, if you remember, I talked a lot about my experiences doing Medicare. And I will go back to discussing some more of my Medicare experiences. But now I want to come to you and talk to you about the other half of that. I remember I said it was 2 parts. The first part covered Medicare. This part here covers life insurance. And I'm going to tell you like this. If you are a go-getter, a hustler, want your money, then life insurance, becoming a life insurance agent, might be the way for you to go. Because in life insurance, it's very lucrative, but you have to get out, you have to do the groundwork, and you have to get out, talk to people. Now, it's 2 different sides of that. Just like Medicare, you have field and remote. With life insurance, the same way. You can have field agents that's going out there meeting you in person, and you can have agents who are captured as well, working remote. Well, captured working for a company, still selling you those particular products. So it doesn't differentiate too much between the captured and independent. Now, in my case, I was both independent and I was a captured agent doing life insurance as well as Medicare. So with my independent experience, like I said in my first video, it wasn't as lucrative for me because of, the environment I was in. I was in what they call a field marketing organization. And so in the field marketing organization, the one I was in, we based our criteria on not just applications alone. So when I was with that agency, we were actually trying to build our own agency under us because, like I said before, if you know how overrides work, if you could teach somebody the same skills that you know to go out there and sell that same products, not only will they get paid, but you'll get paid at a percentage as well. And now their percentage won't interfere with that agent's percentage. It's just from what my understanding was, it's the insurance company way of, kind of incentivizing you. You're building up agents under you to help sell our products. So in order for them to, keep being motivated, let's get more agents in here. Let's sell more products. That was my understanding. If anybody out there has a better understanding of like the overrides or a better explanation, then please feel free to drop them in the comments below. But what was explained to me is the best ride is an override, because now you're at the point to where you have an agency built, you have people working under you making money, and you're making the money as well without so much doing the physical part. You actually, you train your agents and you help them get in the field and make their money. But in turn, they're helping you build your agency and your book of business. So now what your book of business is, that's like, because with life insurance, they have residual income. So let's say you have a client, they buy an insurance policy from you, and year after year, they keep, re-upping on that policy. Well, every time that they re-up, you're going to get a residual income off of that because, it's like, okay, we're still staying with this person, they're still getting income, so that residual keeps rolling in. Now, let me see here. So now, like with my experiences in the FMO, I didn't like I said, it's 3 parts. There were applications, recruits, and points. The applications and the points I was fine with because I was doing it out the strength of my own muscle. The recruits is what got me because now I'm trying to convince other people that this could be a lucrative industry for them. But people are skeptics. So, if you're not putting in the work and showing the results, and you're trying to tell people that, hey, this business model works, But if you don't have the results showing, I mean, it's very hard to convince somebody that this is a viable business and you're not turning over the numbers that's possible. Is it possible? Yes, I have seen people come in life insurance in that FMO type setting, and depending on their grind and hustle, 2-3 months they're making 20, 30. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm getting over. I think I had the flu or something. Just getting over it now. But like I was saying, I've seen people come in to the FMO type setting and hit the ground running. Boom. Like, it's a pass. The organization I was at had guidelines for you to follow. And if you followed them, I mean, they may have worked. I was one who I followed as best as I could, but you also have to have good mentors. And you have to watch out with who you're signing up with and signing, and going into business with, because some of those mentors that are in those type of organizations, they might seem to have the best interests at heart, but they're only in it for themselves. I mean, no matter what industry you're going to find scandalous people. If you're not one of those types, then you have to know how to separate yourself from those people and, find out ways of doing your own, which is one of the situations that got me. One of the people that brought me in, they really couldn't keep it together, so to speak. Like, it's constant rebuilding. They knew only enough information to relate to us, but we're going to these big, conventions and everything with other agencies like ours, and we're finding out that other agencies know more, know how to implement more, have better structures and setup. So you have to definitely do your research as who you're mentoring with, or who your upline. They call it upline. So you have an upline, that's somebody who might have brought you in, or who's above you. Then you have your sideline. Those are like your peers. So if, let's say, I reach the stage of a director and there's other directors around me, then that's my sideline. Then you have what's called the downline. So your downline is people you bring in under you, which you're supposed to train up, nurture, get them ready for this industry so that they can make money, and they in turn can help you make money. But if you don't have the right mentor or coach or whatever you call it, then it could definitely be, not so pleasing situation, which was one of the experiences I dealt with. And I mean, I don't complain too much because nobody listens to that anyway. But it's just that if you're trying to learn something, that initial experience can make you or break you. Now, during the independent FMO type, I did make some money, and it was some good money, but it wasn't the numbers that I was wanting to see, or I've been told. Like, it's definitely hard to get people to talk about life insurance if you don't have a certain group of people who's on that level. You talk to most people about life insurance, and if you don't explain the product good enough, or how it could affect them, how it could create generational wealth. Generational wealth can be built through life insurance. Definitely can. That might be a topic I'll get on later, but if you want to set your generations up, definitely look into the different forms of life insurance, because it definitely can help those future generations. But yeah, so like with FMO, I get out, talk to people, meet people, introduce them, try and get them to come to a meeting to where we're explaining them, the basis of how life insurance works. And life insurance right now, if you're not in the community, well, I don't know about right now, but I know when I was in life insurance, probably the independent sector about 5 years ago, they was talking about a wealth transfer from the boomers to Generation X to millennials. It's supposed to be a wealth transfer that's taking place. And believe it or not, insurance agents help facilitate that, whether it be through life insurance policies, annuities. You definitely have a hand in helping with that. Now, But like I say, with my part, I wasn't big on agency building. So the type of return I was hoping to get, I wasn't getting. I was only getting the product sold off the strength of my own muscle, which wasn't bad. But from seeing what other uh, agencies were doing, I definitely could have done more to try and recruit. But after a while, like burnt me out, and I went to. That's when I did Medicare. I switched to Medicare for a while, and then I tried to do something different. So after I got off of Medicare for a while, we was doing so like I explained, Medicare has two big seasons. You have the AEP, OEP, which are your two biggest selling seasons. Then you have what they call ROI, which is the rest of the year. So usually I would take my time doing ROI and probably, take a break or something like that, mentally recover from the burnout. But this particular year, I was like, let me see if I can maximize on this momentum I'm having and, see if I can get back into the life insurance aspect, working remotely for being a capture agent. So, did a capture agent, and me, I'm the type that I like to be able to get in your face, read your expressions, let you see my face, the genuineness. It's hard to sell products, especially products that's covering people's lives over the phone. I did it, and I can tell you over the phone, it wasn't my cup of tea, especially dealing with life insurance and being captured, because instead of having different sets of products I can offer people, I only was down to a selected few. Some of them worked for some people, some of them didn't. So if that product wasn't working, it was the same thing pretty much like Medicare. Those high pressure sales tactics, I wasn't with that. So they'll try and get you to, convince them to get into something that wasn't going to work for them. And I'm totally against that. If it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. Excuse me again, I'm sorry. But with that being said, like, I don't take those negative experiences as a negative. I take them as a learning experience. So doing the remote life insurance, doing it from home, was a different experience than doing it in the field, because you actually had to break down like a physical barrier getting through to those people. Now they're calling you, but just because they're calling you don't mean they're ready to purchase. You still have to do your part in convincing them to why this product is a good product for them, how it can benefit them down the road. Now, depending on what route you take, whether you go the remote capture route, like I call it, or the independent route, I mean, the products are your lifeline. So like I said, with independent, I'll probably have 8, 9, 10 different carriers that I can go through for a client to find a product that works. And the products that I might have might be a different set of products than being a capture agent, because while I was independent, we had IULs, Index Universal Life Insurance policies. Look them up, people. It can definitely set you off right, especially if you're starting young. We had return of premium insurance policies. What that is, that's a insurance policy. Let's say you get a term insurance policy for 20 years. You pay that policy for those 20 years, and at the end of those 20 years, if you're still alive and kicking, then that premium that you paid out, it can be returned to you. So it's not like, you're wasting your money for the in case. You have the insurance. If nothing happened to you after that term is up, then you get all those premiums back. And then you have the regular whole life insurance policy in turn. Now, being an independent insurance agent, I had that whole spread of products, from the term, whole life, return of premium term, to the IULs, and even I had the ability to do annuities, because like I said, if you get that 215 license, that allows you to do life insurance, health insurance, and annuities. So all depending on how deep you want to go or how much ambition you have, you know, either of those license 214 or 215 can take you a long way. Now, working with, as far as the pay in both, like I said, they both have their incentives. So working remotely, it was salary plus you split the commission on the insurance policies. Now, depending on what organization you with, you might get 15 to 25% per commission, flat out across the board. Some of them might have elevators. So like if you go 0 to 10 policies, that might be a 2% commission. 10 to 20 policies sold might be another tier commission, and so on and so forth. So you really have to do your research into looking into the insurance companies as to what they're offering and what would be beneficial for you. Now, me, I prefer the FMO pay because, like I said earlier, being an independent agent, I got 100% of the income. Now, with that being said, even though I got 100%, some of these insurance companies were paying like 125, 115% of that contract. So you're actually going to get more than what you would calculate it out to be if they have, elevators to make that 100% contract 115, 125% contract. Now, the downside about life insurance is, okay, let's say I sell a policy today. A lot of insurance companies, they'll pay once it goes through, it's clear, all the health screening questions and everything are done. The insurance companies, they'll pay you out for like either, they might split it up 6 months and 6 months, or some of them, when you're independent, might pay you out for the whole year. So if they pay you out for a whole year, and let's say that client stops paying 3-4 months into that policy, then yes, you are on the hook for whatever they didn't finish paying for, because you're getting paid in the anticipation that this client is going to keep this policy and they're going to pay on it every month. Now, that's where you as an agent comes in to make sure you explain the benefits of the policy, how they work, and how it could be beneficial in the long run if they keep this policy. Because let's say you get a client approved for a policy today, they're in good health right now, everything's functioning copacetically, they're good. Let's say 2-3 months down the line, something happens and they have to stop paying that insurance policy. Well, if they try and go get another one, they've probably been to the hospital by now, health on decline. They might have different aspects that if they try and get another policy, they could be declined for it. So if you can go ahead as that agent and teach them how valuable that policy is now and how it'll be beneficial for them, then you'll definitely have a long-term customer to where you have them in your book of business. And I touched that on it earlier. So what your book of business is, that's where, if you're an independent agent, to speak, you have a list of clients, solid clients, and they're paying on their policies, and, you're just doing solid business. Let's say over a 10-year spread, you've already been invested into that FMO organization if you're an independent agent. And if there's other organizations out there besides FMO, please let me know. That's just the one I'm familiar with. But the organization I was with, you got invested in the company after 2 years, I believe, a few years. And then after that, you were allowed to keep your book of business. So let's say you're ready to get out of insurance. You have built a book of business that's worth, $15 million annually. Just throw numbers out there. If you feel, up to it and ready to get out, you can easily go make you a quick $5, $7, $9 million selling that book of business. You know, let's throwing numbers out there, not being specific, because I didn't get that deep into it. But I mean, I've heard other agents say, yeah, I'm just trying to get my book of business up so I can sell it and I'll be done. And that's what a lot of the agents that was in my organization was aiming for. You want to build that book of business, and you want to try and build those agents. Because if you have a solid book of business with solid agents, then you have a functioning business. So it all comes down to you and how you want to approach it, how you want to make that money. I just gave you a broad overview of my experiences dealing with Medicare and life insurance. Definitely when you get in, if you decide to pursue that and get into it, there will be, you have state and state laws you have to follow. You have to make sure you're being fiduciarily responsible, because you are dealing with, these people and their assets and their money. So you want to be a fiduciary. I think I said you fiduciary. You want to make sure you're doing right by the people. But yeah, other than that, I believe if you, would like to bet on yourself, try and make you some money, whether it's working from home or working in the field, if you're, which one works best for you, go looking to get you a 214 or a 215 insurance license and see what the future holds for you. Like, even though I'm not practicing insurance now, I currently keep my continuing education, the CEs, I keep them up whenever they're due, just to make sure if I do decide to get back into it, I'm set and I'm ready to go. That's another thing you have to look out for. So every so many years, you have to perform your continuing education to get so many hours to meet your state requirements to be an active agent. So I'm in Florida, I believe here, it might have been 24 hours every 2 years, I believe, something in that range, where I have to redo my continuing education. Is easy. It's multiple choice. And, if you know how to do it, then it's no problem. Even with Medicare, you still have to do your AHELP. That's every year. But like I say before, that's an open book test. And once you pass AHELP, you do AHELP, and then you do fraud, waste, and abuse, which is a part of AHELP. But once you take care of that, I mean, everything else is just maintaining. So like I said, I'm kind of sick. I can't go on like I want to. But that's my part 2 of if you're broke, jobless, needing some money, definitely looking to become a insurance agent. Whether you go the medical route or the life route, it's all determined by your hustle, and it's all determined by what you want. So, now I do have, if you are interested in life insurance, I might have some people who's still in the field to where, you might be able to link up with them if you want to join an agency that's already out there. And, you'll have a mentor who's been in the game for some time who can teach you and show you the game, because if you have the right mentor, they're going to show you the right way, because they want you to make money and they want to make money as well. But I definitely still have a few connections in that field. If any of my fans out there interested, drop me a comment below. I'll reach out to those people, and if they're interested in taking people on, I'll be more than happy to pass their name on to you. But that's all I got to say for now. YouTube, this is, like I said, a high level overview of a field where I think you really can make some money. So if you're, like I say, Medicare agent, health insurance agent, or life insurance, definitely want to look into those fields and see if any of them might pop off for you. So until next time, YouTube, I thank you for listening to me while I'm sick. I know I might not sound the best, but I didn't want to drag out the part 2 of this video any longer, and I wanted to get it to you and get that information to you. And if you feel like there's any missing information, just drop questions, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. So until next time, this Fat Man from Fat Man and the Fam, and I'm out.